on a beautiful 75-degree night in New York City. We're at Madison Square Garden as the crowd continues to file in for this NBA TV presentation. Anthony Davis coming off a huge game against Brazil Saturday night in Chicago, teaming up with James Harden and Steph Curry as they make their way to the FIBA World Cup in Spain. We welcome you to USA Basketball presented by Nike. It is the United States national team facing the Dominican Republic national team for the U.S. The first of two exhibition games here at the Garden. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Grant Hill and Steve Smith. And Grant, for the United States, it is a team without the injured Paul George, without Kevin Durant, without Kevin Love, both withdrawing, without the injured Blake Griffin. So all now seems to revolve in terms of big men up front in the hands of Anthony Davis, the 21-year-old out of New Orleans, a star with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes, indeed, Marvin. Last season, Anthony Davis took a big step, emerging as an all-star in his second season. Certainly against Brazil, he showed a little bit of everything on offense, blocking shots on defense, and of course, playing with a relentlessness there on the offensive glass. Anthony Davis is long, athletic, but he's also skilled and very talented and needs to play big for the U.S. to win the World Cup.
And as for the Dominican Republic, they come off a win on Sunday in the Bahamas over a very talented Kentucky team. They came from behind, and they won on this shot by Jack Martinez in the final seconds to even up their exhibition record at 2 up and 2 down. And Steve, the most familiar face on this Dominican roster is Francisco Garcia, a 9-year NBA veteran with Sacramento and Houston.
Well, Marv, you know, also their best player. But what you love about him, he's their emotional leader. And you look at his numbers with Sacramento and Houston, he's going to have to be more aggressive offensively for this Dominican Republican team. He's going to have to come out and take shots.
Francisco Garcia, who grew up in the Bronx, one of 7 New York area players on the Dominican Republican national roster, bringing out a large contingent of Dominican fans, and Francisco certainly heard it from the crowd a moment ago. Right here, we'll take a break. Let's check in with Vince Cellini and Dennis Scott in our studios at
Basketball, Jerry Colangelo. He is the highest-ranking military officer in the United States and serves as the principal military advisor to the President and the Secretary of Defense. Please welcome the 18th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In just a few moments, members of the best military on the planet will participate in a ceremony with members of the best basketball team on the planet as they prepare to go and represent our country in the World Games. Tonight, some of the servicemen in front of you will present these players with a set of dog tags, military identification tags. These dog tags are emblazoned with the flag of our nation, the cloth of our nation. And on the back, it has the player's name on one dog tag, and on the other, it has some of their names. The dog tag is an iconic symbol for us. We wear it wherever we are deployed around the globe protecting our nation. And in this case, it represents courage and trust. And what these servicemen and women are going to do tonight is present these dog tags to these players with the message that we entrust them to their care as they go and represent their nation. Servicemen and women, about face. Members of the crowd, let's hear it. USA! USA! Present the dog tag.
Guys, back it up. Back it up.
All right, this, as you saw a moment ago, what the players and the military have exchanged as they kick off Hoops for Troops for the 2014-2015 season. And now, back to basketball as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Nike, the Dominican Republic, with a front line of Francisco Garcia of the Houston Rockets, Elise Baez, the 6'11" Eloy Vargas, who was Anthony Davis's backup, as it turns out, at Kentucky. The shooting guard, James Feldine, and at the point, Edgar Sosa, who, like Garcia, played his collegiate ball at Louisville. For the U.S. national team, once again, they go with the smaller starting five. The big men, Anthony Davis and Kenneth Faried. The three guards, James Harden, Steph Curry, and Kyrie Irving, will be the starter at the point instead of Derrick Rose, who has been bothered by soreness in his knees. And for more on Derrick, let's go to Matt Weiner.
All right, thank you, Marv. Derrick Rose was considered a game-time decision due to soreness. That decision has been made, and he will not play tonight, not only because of that soreness, but in combination with the opportunity for Damian Lillard to get some minutes tonight. Remember, Rose did not practice on Monday and was limited to light shooting here in New York on Tuesday. And considering he's played just 10 NBA games over the last 2 years due to his knee injuries, it was believed he was simply recovering from the rigors of an emotional live-action game Saturday night in his hometown. It also turns out he required treatment on his surgically repaired knee. I am told the team expects Rose to practice tomorrow and play Friday against Puerto Rico, but fellas, the implications are clear. As long as there is even a sliver of uncertainty in terms of Rose's availability, Coach Mike Krzyzewski and Jerry Colangelo cannot be certain which guards, namely Lillard, will make this 12-man roster for the FIBA World Cup.
And they are talking about the cutting process. Mike Krzyzewski saying they'd like to cut two after tonight's game. They'd like to hold that roster down.
Yeah, Barb, I think it's a difficult situation for this USA basketball, the coaching staff, and Jerry Colangelo, because of DeMarcus Cousins' injury. You're not knowing, how well he will play, and also Derrick Rose situation. So tonight's going to tell a lot. We get a chance to see a little bit more Damian Lillard than we got a chance to see Grant and Marv in Chicago.
And these exhibition games will lead to the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup, which will be hosted by Spain starting on August the 30th. The winner automatically qualifies for the Summer Olympics in Brazil in 2016. The U.S. incidentally opens against Finland on Saturday, August the 30th. United States in the white, controlling the opening tip. The officiating crew out of the NBA, Marat Kogut, Matthew Myers, Jose Carrion, a couple of NCAA officials also working as Anthony Davis gets right to it.
Certainly has, showing his range on his first shot. He's improved the 10 to 15-foot shot, and he's hitting that. It's a long night for the Dominican Republic.
Garcia, played by Faried, trying to get it inside, and a pushing foul is called on Harden.
Well, let's take a look at this play. A great misdirection, a little dribble handoff, and a pick and roll, which helps by the pass. And the U.S. men's team, the national team, is moving the basketball around, and that's what makes him a special player, because his versatility to knock down the elbow jump shot.
Inbounds to Vargas. This is Feldine, who can shoot. Baez on the drive. Baez able to go glass. The Dominican Republic in exhibition play went 2-2 as Harden, wasting no time, comes up with air. The Dominicans with wins over Puerto Rico and Kentucky, then lost to Kentucky. Kentucky had played, 6 games in 8 days, a little bit on the fatigued side, and were beaten in that one-point game on Sunday by the Dominican Republic. Sosa had it knocked away. Beautiful play by Irving, tried to save it, but he had stepped out.
Certainly was a great win for the Dominican Republic. For them tonight, they're going to have to come out and use their speed and their quickness on the perimeter, attack the basket, player movement, ball movement, to have a chance here against the United States. I
know Mike Krzyzewski likes to play small in FIBA competition, but he is forced into it in this situation.
You're totally right, Marvin. When you talk about international play, playing small, you have the advantage because of our big guys' versatility, being able to shoot the jump shot, block shots, and to run the court. And I think that's where we are superior over most countries when they get a chance to run.
But they have to hit their threes, and the other night, despite the victory over Brazil in Chicago, just 4 for 17 from beyond that three-point line.
A bad shooting night for the U.S. team, but certainly with the shooters they have, they're more than capable of getting hot and finding their rhythm from long range.
Here's Harden on the drive. Harden with the, Fareed with the save off another air ball tossed by Harden, and the ball back to the Dominican Republic.
You know, Marv, you talk about three-point shooting. I know for me, playing an international basketball play, the ball was lighter. So it kind of, you have to force yourself to practice with it and take a little bit off your shot because it just floats on you when you shoot from distance.
I always had that same problem. Garcia able to knock it down. I must say, both Steve and Grant with much international experience with gold in the Olympics. Nice move there by Kyrie Irving. And also success in FIBA play, so you know what these guys are going through. Beautiful fadeaway on the drive by Feldin. You can hear the support in the crowd for this Dominican Republic team.
Well, we're here in New York City, and certainly a nice Dominican Republic fan base here. Certainly wants to see their team do well as Davis is fouled on the jump shot. But Kyrie Irving certainly showing here what he does during the NBA, does in FIBA play, getting to the basket, finishing, and then, of course, fielding, returning the favor, finishing in traffic. Really a potent offensive player and a scorer for the Dominican Republic, fielding that is. And these guys are going at it here, waiting for the USA team here to calm down a little bit and get a little bit into their comfort zone on the offensive end.
2 shots for Davis, who is a 79% free throw shooter. Last year, Kyrie Irving last season averaged 21.6 assists, and that assist total could certainly skyrocket by throwing lobs to LeBron and Kevin Love and now Sean Marion. How many assists a game do you see for Kyrie in the upcoming season?
You know, Marv, I think his assist goes up, but I think more importantly, you get a chance to see him getting a chance to concentrate on winning basketball games, meaningful games. But I also see his shooting percentage going up. And did you see that, Marv?
I did. Harden, you throwing the lob to Fareed.
You said you had that problem shooting threes. Did you have that problem, you know, catching lobs?
Yes. Same situation.
You know, but what a special treat for Kyrie Irving to get a chance to play with the LeBron James, both versatile guys. He'll be able to create shots for LeBron, but more importantly, LeBron James creates easy buckets for everyone around him.
Blocked by Davis at the other end. A bucket at the offensive end of the floor. Davis with the 5 block shots against Brazil on Saturday night. Garcia whips a pass down low. Could not be handled by Vargas. Here's Harden all the way and draws the foul, so he'll go to the line.
Certainly the U.S. is showing their strength here on the series of plays as Harden throws it up high to Fareed. And then, of course, Anthony Davis protecting the rim for the U.S. team and getting out and reward the big fella by dishing it off and finishing with the hook shot. The USA team wants to create shots off of their defense, get out in transition, use their athleticism, and on those series of plays, they were able to showcase that.
As you see, Harden 11 for 11 at the line the other night. What's your reaction to Harden's statement the other day that he is the best, quote, all-around player in the NBA?
Well, you know, Marv, you have to believe in yourself.
Yes, of course.
James Harden is one of those guys. He definitely believes in James Harden. He is a phenomenal basketball player. But that statement, he just
why would you make that statement?
Because he's James Harden.
But to put such pressure on the guy.
I think he got confused. He might be the best all-around player on this team.
Yes. Good point, Grant. I guess James is including his defensive prowess, which has picked up, according to the coaches, in practices with the U.S. team, and a nice move there by Harden. He's a tremendous player, there's no question. Among the leading scorers, among the leading assist guys. But I think there might be an argument there from Oklahoma City, from Cleveland, several other, LA Clippers. Oh, the lob could not be put down this time. Irving looking for Davis. 7-point United States lead, 5.5 remaining. These are 10-minute quarters in FIBA play. Here's Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, met by Edgar Sosa. Harden for 3. Yes.
He enjoys the game. That's the one thing you love about watching James Harden play the game of basketball. He's always into it, plays with a smile, and he has the green light.
12 unanswered points, a 12-0 run, and the United States with a 16-6 lead. Harden with the last 7 points for the U.S.
NBA TV's presentation of USA Basketball is presented by the Nike KD7 collection, available at Foot Locker, and in part by Cisco. Cisco, tomorrow starts here. And Foot Locker. If it's at Foot Locker, it's approved.
Start by James Harden. He scored the last 7 points for the United States. A 12-0 run for the U.S.
Well, Harden is certainly showing that he might be the most all-around player here in the game today. Getting out in transition, finishing at the rim, shooting three-point shots in transition, playing James Harden basketball, alley-ooping, assisting here in transition. What I like the most, though, he has 2 steals. He's playing defense. He's playing on both sides of the ball here tonight.
Well, defense can certainly, you can make an argument for it, but steals, as you know, could mean a guy's gambling. Doesn't necessarily mean he's playing good defense.
It could be gambling, or it could be just, the reward of playing great defense. You never know here. But
he's not playing good defense. I can tell you that right now. James Harden, capable of playing great defense. Good drive, and there's DeMarcus Cousins, his presence down there on the block. But when he was in OKC, he was a above-average defender. Now his energy is turned to the offensive end in Houston. I agree.
No question he's a tremendous player. We're not looking to take anything away from James Harden. But there are certain aspects of his game that are tremendous. This is Klay Thompson, who just checked in along with Rudy Gay of the Sacramento Kings, Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers. Dean of the Dominican Republic in a collision with Curry. Curry had foul trouble the other night, and right here picks up his first.
And, other night, Marv, playing in Chicago, he started out the 2-guard position, him along with Derrick Rose, and he was matched up against Barbosa. And for him, yes, he's going to have to defend some 2s whenever he's out there with another point guard, but it put a lot of pressure on him playing that position.
Garcia inbounds to Sosa, now played by Lillard. Edgar Sosa played his college ball at Louisville. Here's Baez, usually a post-up player. Dominican Republic 0 for its last 7. Gay looks to get it inside to DeMarcus Cousins. Making his first appearance, did not play the other night against Brazil after suffering an injured knee. Look at the potential guard alignment for the United States team.
Marv, a lot of versatility. Obviously, Stephen Curry can flat out shoot the basketball. Kyrie and Damian Lillard. But the big question mark is Derrick Rose's health. So I think for you, Mike Krzyzewski and his staff, do you keep all 4 guys because of the uncertainty of Derrick Rose? And the one thing I do like from a Stephen Curry, Grant, and also a Kyrie Irving, both guys can play the off-guard position along with Damian Lillard.
I agree, Steve, and it's a big question mark. Like you said, Derrick Rose, the uncertainty. What exactly is going to happen? Is he going to play? Can they rely on him to play heavy minutes in international play in the World Cup? You certainly have some very capable, very talented players there at the point guard position, but they have some tough decisions to make here, and certainly Lillard gets a chance here tonight to show that he belongs on this team.
The last foul committed by Cousins. And there is one person on that United States bench with much interest on any decision involving Derrick Rose, as Garcia is off the mark. Ball's deflected out, last touch by the United States. One of Coach K's assistants, Tom Thibodeau, the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, and I would think they have to make a decision about the sore knees of Derrick Rose in terms of cut down time. Cousins able to challenge that shot. Off the rebound, finds Lillard. Lillard trying to set it up for Gay. They were not able to make the connection.
Certainly, they probably will have to make that decision regarding Derrick Rose, and it might not be a bad thing for him to step down. If he's having any kind of doubt, any kind of concern, soreness, swelling in his knee, we don't know if that's the case or not, but you got to think big picture and have perspective, and certainly Coach Tibbs knows that. Coach K, Jerry Colangelo, they want nothing but the best for Derrick Rose with all that he's been through. So let's just hope for the best and hope they all make the right decision moving forward.
Ronald Raymond, another product of the Bronx, checking in. Nice move on Feldin as he got the step around Cousins. That ends a 14-0 run for the United States.
And Marv, talking to the coaching staff of the Dominican team, James Feldin is one of those players, relentless on the offensive end, always in attack mode. He's kind of a James Harden for their team, loves contact, and you can see Rudy Gay playing that power forward position with a nice chance for an N1.
Rudy Gay was an add to the squad after Paul George suffered that broken leg and after Kevin Durant withdrew. Rudy Gay, familiar with international competition. He's played for USA basketball since 2005.
Rudy has played for Coach K in 2010 in the World Cup. And in this style of play, as we talked about going small, putting him in or sliding him in at the 4 position, maybe even at times getting some minutes at the 5. Now the U.S. can go small, use their speed, and Rudy Gay looked good on that play, and pretty nice when you can replace a guy like Kevin Durant with another potential all-star in Rudy Gay.
A lot of dribbling here by the Dominican Republic. 3 on the shot clock. Good defense here by the United States, and they come away with the ball. Lillard lost it. Raymond with the steal. Here's Garcia. Lays it home. Francisco Garcia on the drive.
And you hear the crowd, Marv. They're trying to get into it. And back to Rudy Gay, what Grant was talking about, and Grant and myself, and we all know when you put that USA jersey on, it's all about sacrifice and being unselfish. Rudy Gay is a small forward for his team in Sacramento, but he will be asked to play a lot of power forward for Team USA, from USA.
Nice double pump by DeMar DeRozan of the Raptors, able to hit on his first shot. This is Jack Martinez, the hero, with that last-second shot against Kentucky on Sunday. Garcia puts the brakes on. Off the crossover over Thompson. Francisco Garcia, who was originally a first-round pick of the Sacramento Kings after playing his college ball at Louisville for Rick Pitino, spent 7.5 years with the Kings. Klay Thompson for 3. Francisco Garcia, a member of the Rockets, and is still unsigned as a free agent. The feeling is the signing is pending. Could happen tonight.
Well, Marv, talking to him, he said he will definitely have a conversation with the Rockets organization after this game. And I know they would love to have him back, that small 4 position. Him, Chandler Parsons, and Chandler Parsons departing for the Dallas Mavericks. And as you can see, the Dominican team misses this one. They get out and run. USA and Klay Thompson. Every time he shoots it, Marvin Grant, I feel like it's going in.
One of the outstanding three-point shooters, along with his backcourt teammate, Steph Curry. Cousins with that last bucket. We're final minute of the first quarter. It's been all United States. They've looked very sharp. Garcia off a double team. Gets it out to Martinez. Martinez spinning on a double. Garcia for 3. Yes.
Steve Smith said before the game, Garcia is the emotional leader here for the Dominican Republic, and he's coming out, he's getting his shots up like Steve said in pregame.
What you like about it?
The strip of Lillard. Here's Feldine. Ooh. Fast break bucket on the stuff by James Feldine. So the Dominican Republic looking to get back into it. They're down 28-17. Final seconds of the first. Thompson on the drive. Thompson, Feldine rebounds as time runs out in this first quarter. United States with a 28-17 lead, and Francisco Garcia able to keep the Dominican team in the ball game, hitting from all angles. Garcia 4 for 7, 9 points in all.
Welcome back to New York, where the U.S. national team leads the Dominican Republic 28-17. I'm Matt Weiner here with assistant coach Tom Thibodeau. Defensively, 14-0 run fueled in part at least by turnovers and transition, which is the hallmark of this team. How pleased were you?
Well, I thought the start of the game was very good. Our ball pressure was terrific. The communication was very good. Then we got a little loose there the last couple minutes of the quarter. So, you know, the challenge is to do it for 40 minutes. So it was a good start, and we just got to take care of the ball. You can't turn it over.
You're here for USA Basketball. You also get a close-up look at Derrick Rose's re-entry into elite-level basketball after not practicing for the most part the last couple of days, not playing tonight. What's your level of concern as the Bulls head coach?
Well, you know, we gave him a couple days off. We knew he would have some soreness. We just thought that another day of rest would be good for him, and we also wanted to get a look at some other players. So it just worked out, you know, so we wouldn't play tonight.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, man.
Tom Thibodeau, head coach of the Chicago Bulls, going into his 5th year with the Bulls, regarded as one of the premier defensive coaches in the NBA. Second quarter underway. The Dominican Republic making a number of changes. We'll pick them up when they get to the offense, and an offensive foul, a push. Foul is called on Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons, who just checked in.
You know, Marv, you mentioned earlier in the interview about Derrick Rose there with Coach Tibbs. You know, Steve and I both have had injuries, and soreness shouldn't be too alarmed. Obviously, as you come back from injuries, you're going to have soreness. That's part of the process. And so, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, they want to be smart about handling the right way. But I don't want all the Chicago Bulls fans out there to be alarmed. It's a big picture perspective, and soreness is all part of recovery.
Harden draws the foul. Harden on the drive. Harden had the hot hand in the opening quarter for the Dominican Republic. Victor Lees, MVP of the Dominican Republic finals last year, and an excellent shooter, has come on, as has Carl Towns out of Metuchen, New Jersey, a 7'1", 248-pound center who during the exhibition games against Kentucky played for Kentucky. He will be a freshman at Kentucky next season, and what a tremendous prospect Carl Towns is.
You're so right, Marv. Well, you look at his size and his ability. He can bang in the post, has ability to drive the basketball, being able to make plays, and he has a high motor, gets on the glass. John Calipari has a tremendous talent in Carl Towns.
He is 10 deep at least at Kentucky. Cal, at the beautiful move by Victor Lees, who we talked about just a moment ago. Cal was at the USA practice yesterday. I thought strictly for schmoozing reasons. All right, here is Curry for 3. Steph Curry last season led the NBA with 261 three-pointers, shooting 43 from downtown. United States, in contrast to their three-point shooting on Saturday night against Brazil, 3 of 5 here thus far in this first half. Martinez. Lees try to get it back. Batted away, recovered by Martinez. One on the shot clock. And it's a shot clock violation. Let's take a look at the upcoming USA Basketball National Team schedule of events. Friday on ESPN2, it'll be the U.S. National Team going up against Puerto Rico here at Madison Square Garden. Next Tuesday, ESPN2 will present at 2 o'clock. And as Curry hits from 3 once again, it'll be U.S. versus Slovenia, led by Goran Dragic. And they'll play that at the Canary Islands.
Marv, that last shot by Stephen Curry, Grant, that's just not fair to be able to shoot the basketball with that ease. So pretty. And knocking it down, those are not easy shots. He's shooting that with some range.
Good hands by Davis to keep it alive, and he was tripped up. Draws the foul on Suero. Gerardo Suero just coming on, picked up the foul.
And look at the rotation as a shooter. Oh, I am just so jealous getting a chance to watch Stephen Curry shoot that basketball, Grant. I mean, it is beautiful.
It really is, Steve. And you mentioned earlier, he and Thompson, when they shoot the ball, I think it's going in every time.
Their former head coach at Golden State, Mark Jackson, said, here's Curry again for 3. That Curry and Thompson are the best shooting backcourt of all time. You buy that?
You know, let me start to think. There are some guys that can shoot the basketball. You definitely have to have those two guys up there, especially at their age. I would say at their age right now, I don't know if 2 guys that be able to shoot the basketball in this early in their career the way they do.
They may be. You know, you think of the great shooting backcourts, and then you look at some of the field goal percentages, and even before the three-point shot came into effect, even guys like Clyde Frazier, Earl Monroe, they were not pure shooters. Here's Harden for 3. Some of the Celtics backcourts, some of the Laker backcourts. He may be right. You know, when you think back, to have 2 guys who can shoot, particularly the 3 the way they do. Harden able to beat the Dominican Republic down the court.
I agree, Marv. There have been some great backcourts that you mentioned throughout the history of the league, but the range that these 2 guys have, the way they shoot, and as you said, the combination of youth, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. These 2 guys are great, and they got a great coach now who's a great shooter in his own right, Kerr.
Who's that? Oh, Kerr.
Your old buddy.
I remember him.
Yeah, I imagine he'll have some shooting games with those guys.
He's been challenged already, I'm told.
Be careful, Steve.
Yeah, because those guys are trying to get out of practice.
Well, you know, Steve actually works out for hours even now, and then he claims that he hasn't done any shooting in months to get drawn into these three-point contests. But I would have to go with Curry and Thompson. I think there'd be no contest at this point. But you know what's amazing about Curry and Thompson? They've done it now for 2-3 straight years. It's not like it's not one hit wonder type situation.
And a lot of people think of three-point shooting just spot up shooting. These guys shooting off the dribble, like Grant said, with range. There's three-point shots, and then there's shots you're saying they're nowhere near the line. I mean, there's no doubt that these are 25-foot shots, 26-foot shots, and they're making it look easy.
Well, with all due respect to Steve Kerr, most of his shots were wide open three-pointers coming off of passes from Tim Duncan or Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. But like you said, these guys are creating their own three-point shots off the dribble.
However, think of the pressure shots that Steve had to hit. And you know I hate defending him, but he hit some unbelievable shots in final seconds of games for both Chicago and San Antonio.
Well, Marv, to that point, I played with him in San Antonio. You know, it's hard. Steve could sometimes not play the entire game.
Right.
You don't get a chance to warm up and get shots. Come off the bench cold and knock down big shots.
The 2 shots upcoming for Juan Coronado, backup point guard. NBA TV's coverage of the WNBA playoffs will begin Friday. Game 1 will be Chicago Sky against the Atlanta Dream. That'll be 7:30 Eastern time, and the coverage continues through the conference finals, which begin Friday, August the 29th. You can watch the WNBA playoffs on NBA TV. 15-point lead for the United States national team playing their second exhibition game. They come off the victory over Brazil in Chicago Saturday night. Irving going one-on-one to the crossover and knocks it down. Kyrie Irving with a beautiful move. He kind of waved at teammates to stay away. Kyrie out of West Orange, New Jersey. Played his college ball at Duke, although briefly only 11 games. And then the injury put him out the rest of the way. Here's Curry. It was off the mark, and the follow missed by Davis.
The lane will be a lot bigger for Kyrie Irving, having a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson, James Harden out there on the wing. He'll have plenty of opportunities here in international play to go one-on-one like he did earlier.
Swirl not able to hit, and then the foul. Foul committed by Drummond. And we will take a break. Just under 5 left. First half here at Madison.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Before tonight's game, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, addressed the crowd here and led a ceremony in which U.S. players and staff received personalized dog tags. It's part of USA Basketball and the NBA's ongoing relationship with the U.S. military. And we're joined by General Dempsey, who's a big basketball fan. He was just talking about what an ankle breaker James Harden is. But you also had business here with the NBA and with USA Basketball. Prior to the game, Commissioner Adam Silver announced the Department of Defense and the NBA are launching a commitment to service program during Veterans Day week. What can you tell us about the program?
Well, we've had a relationship with the NBA, the military has, on the Hoops for Troops program, which was a great outreach on the part of the NBA, especially to deployed family members, meaning the family members of deployed servicemen and women. And what we want to do now is, we need to evolve it and adapt it. And what we want to do is have servicemen and women across the country, because we're every place, partner with NBA franchises to give back. So we're calling it a commitment to service.
We saw the U.S. national team practicing at West Point, interacting with cadets on Monday. From your perspective, how important are those exchanges between elite athletes and your servicemen and women?
Well, basketball is enormously popular in the United States military, and I think of it as the best military on the planet interacting with some of the best athletes on the planet. And you know, the NBA athletes are held in very high esteem, and military men and women and their families are held in very high esteem. Seems to me to be a pretty good partnership.
What do you believe the cadets took away from that experience Monday?
Well, if you're a cadet at West Point, any diversion from, classwork and discipline is a welcome diversion. But I think what they took away, first of all, they revere Mike Krzyzewski. I mean, as I do, frankly. But I think they took away that the young men and women on the USA Basketball women's team that have made a commitment to give of their time when they could be doing something else this summer. I think they recognized sort of a common bond of service. At least that's what I hope they recognize.
Where does your love of basketball stem from?
Well, my love of basketball is, high school, and I went to Burke Catholic High School, Goshen, New York, met my wife Deanie there. She played on the women's team. I played. I don't think they called it women's team at that time.
You're boys and girls officially in high school.
Right, and then our children took that up as well. Our daughter was the point guard for West Point's women's team for 2 years and a 3-year starter. Our son played on the men's team. So it's a family thing.
Good luck with the program. We appreciate your time.
Thanks very much.
General Martin Dempsey here in New York. And Marv, the general's being a little modest. He wasn't just a high school player. He was the MVP of his high school team.
Very impressive all-around resume. And the general talking a moment ago about Mike Krzyzewski, head coach of the United States national team. And since he and Jerry Colangelo, the managing director of the U.S. national team, took things over, as you see the follow by Santana, they have gone 63-1 in international competition, 51 straight wins since a loss to Greece back in 2006. And Grant, your favorite former head coach of Duke, has won 4 national championships. He does credit 2 of those to you, it should be pointed out. And he's been involved as a coach with 13 USA teams and accounted for 9 gold medals, 2 silver, 2 bronze.
Coach K obviously is a big believer in international play. Representing your country as Lillard finishes with the layup. But what he and Jerry Colangelo have done since they inherited this program in 2006 has really been remarkable. They have players now that want to play, that want to be a part of this, have bought into the team concept, and now it's something that guys want to do. I'd say back in 2004, not all the top elite players necessarily wanted to be a part of USA basketball, but now they are, and certainly Coach K's resume and the fact that he's here coaching, we felt the passion yesterday at practice when we went there, and you know, I obviously think the world of Coach K, but so do these guys. And to watch them come together as a team, having times off the court, on the court, the experience at West Point on Monday, all of this is all about team building, and that's what really Coach K and Jerry Colangelo are all about.
Although he did say in talking to you and Steve, and that you're both media stars now, he doesn't feel that he belongs in the same circle. He felt dwarfed by the two of you. Mentioned something about potential team ownership for one of you. I mean, he just did not let up.
Yeah, not at all. And Grant, I have to defer to you. That was your coach, so I had to just stand back and just listen to it.
Yeah, no, he has a sense of humor too. So yeah, he gave it. He dished it out a little bit yesterday at practice.
Oh, yes.
All in good nature.
But back to him and Jerry, Marvin, Grant, you know, it's more they developed a program. They used to you select the best guys and get a chance to go out there and represent your country. But now, as you see, the select team is huge, and also the senior national team. So you have a stable of guys that you get a chance to choose from, and a stable of guys that they can groom to be able to play for that senior national team. And obviously, Coach K has brought that winning to USA.
Offensive foul, a charge called on Santana. So the ball back to the United States. There's Jerry Colangelo. Started out as an assistant coach with the Chicago Bulls. Actually was a head coach and executive. On to Phoenix. Ended up with ownership of the Phoenix Suns, ownership of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Amazing career for Jerry Colangelo.
Talk about somebody who has done it all in the world of basketball. As you mentioned, coaching,
Player, also.
Player, general manager, owner, is the chairman of the board of the Hall of Fame. Certainly serves in this role as the head of USA Basketball, and really been a great ambassador, and really just a life of service to the game of basketball. And you know, his leadership and direction and vision is really, alongside Coach K, really helped develop this program, as you mentioned, Steve, into something that's been really first class.
It has, Marvin, Grant. And talking to Jerry out in Vegas, he just says he loves to be around the game and this opportunity. And we look at this product, the USA Senior Men National Basketball Team on the floor, and obviously tremendous players, but there's so much Jerry and Mike has to do. I mean, you start looking at the partnership, to bring the awareness, and the sponsors here, the Team USA, it's been phenomenal what Jerry has done.
Foul is called on Cousins. And that'll lead to a timeout.
And we're looking at guard play there. Is Stephen Curry knocking down shots, and Kyrie Irving being able to create his own shot, and James Harden, the bearded one, going to the bucket. And Damian Lillard making it look very easy.
For USA Basketball updates at your fingertips, well, you can download the USA Basketball app. For the latest news on the men's and women's national teams, check out rosters, photos, video, and more. Available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Minute 46 remaining, first half. Jack Martinez, the team captain, with that distinctive look, hit the game winner on Sunday against Kentucky. One of the all-time rebounders in Dominican Republic basketball history. Played pro in Puerto Rico, Italy, Mexico. United States with an 18-point lead. Thompson pops it out. DeRozan. Shot clock at 5. Klay Thompson comes up short. And Lillard took it away.
The Dominican Republic showing a little zone here, and Klay Thompson is able to pull up for mid-range and hit that shot, but I'm not sure you're going to see a lot of zone this year against the USA team with the shooters they have out there on the court. Should be interesting in World Cup play.
Thompson with 7 points. Here's James May, kept alive by Manuel Fortuna. Sosa hit on a wraparound by Lillard. His first half winds down. U.S. with a burst in the opening quarter. Had a 12-0 run, 7 straight points by James Harden. Harden is the high point man with 10. Francisco Garcia leads the Dominican Republic with 9 points.
Yeah, you got a chance to see the U.S. get out and run and get easy baskets. That's where their strength is, being able to run the court. And when you have shooters, the defenders have to fan out, and they have bigs and Kenneth Faried and Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. They're running the court, and that's making it easy. And you have a guy in James Harden that enjoys contact and getting to the free throw line and putting pressure on the defense.
DeRozan tempting the runner. That's a 3-point attempt. Here comes Thompson. Gay for 3. Big hop handle by Lillard. Thompson open for 3. Yes.
Ooh, that is pretty. You're talking about rotation on the basketball, quick release, knocking it down.
Second 3 for Klay Thompson. He has 10 points, and that is the end of the first half. United States 53, the Dominican Republic 31. Biggest lead of the game. And the U.S. has connected on 5 of 11 from downtown. Dominican Republic just 1 for 11 from the 3-point line. For the U.S., their second exhibition game. They'll be here at the Garden on Friday for Puerto Rico, then 1 more in the Canary Islands. Let's go to Matt with James Harden.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. 10 points for James Harden to lead the way here in this first half. You guys got aggressive defensively, turning that over. That's what this team does best of all. How important is it to jump on whoever the opponent is?
Every single game. That's our identity. We got so many great guards, and our defense is going to make our offense a lot better. So from the beginning of every single game, we pick up on defense, and great results will happen.
A couple of steals for you as well in a week in which you described yourself as the best all-around player in the world. In a 40-minute setting, you get a chance to show that off a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put the pressure on myself that much. There's so many, great players on this team that we're all going to complement each other. So we're just out here having fun and trying to win games.
Good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it.
So he says he's the best all-around player, but doesn't want to put the pressure on himself. He's having fun. We buy it. But a terrific first half for James Harden and the U.S. by 22. We welcome you back to USA Basketball, presented by Nike. Stirring shot of the Statue of Liberty, the sun going down here in the New York area. 53-31, the United States with the big lead. Marv Albert along with Grant Hill, Steve Smith, Matt Weiner working the sideline. U.S. put it away in the first half of that 14-0 run led by James Harden, as we take a look at tonight's Star Watch, brought to you by Samsung.
Marv, James Harden came out and really set the tone for the U.S. team, getting out in transition, finishing at the basket. Of course, he's all-around player. He's unselfish. He found Kenneth Faried for the alley-oop, and of course, he showed that he can shoot from the three-point line.
And you talk about shoot the basketball, the three-point shot. The USA team knocked down some shots, and they have some guys that can flat out let it go. That's the Stephen Curry knocking it down. And watch this rotation of the basketball from the three-point line from Klay Thompson. They can flat out shoot.
5 of 11 overall from downtown for the United States. And you see what the backcourt has done, the combination of Harden, Thompson, and Curry. United States with that 14-0 run over 4 minutes of play in the first quarter. United States national team in control. Here's Davis. Baez with the rebound. Anthony Davis, to this point, quiet, 2 of 5. 5 points. Baez for 3. And it's handled by Curry. United States in the white. Curry met by Garcia. Good half for Francisco Garcia. Curry with the lead for Davis.
Marv, you said Davis has been quiet, but really the U.S. hasn't needed him much tonight. But I believe he's the most important player on the team. May not be the best player, but the most important player. But when they see Spain, they're going to need him to stay out of foul trouble to match up against Spain's Gasol brothers and Serge Ibaka.
Now Spain on paper with a tremendous team. Marc Gasol, Pau Gasol, Serge Ibaka, and Ricky Rubio in the backcourt with Jose Calderon. They come with Rudy Fernandez off the bench. Davis hits the jumper, but you wonder about the pressure on Spain and that the World Cup is being played in their home country.
Yes, Marvin. And it'll be some pressure, but you name some guys that have some talent, but most important, they have a lot of experience. When you talk about the Gasol brothers in international play, they have Ricky Rubio, they have Calderon. They have some guys that have been through there, and they played together for a long time. And it is an advantage, though, also, the game is played in Spain. And you talk about experience. This graphic shows 5 players for the USA with only 41 total games played, Grant and Marvin. Then you look for Spain. That's a wealth of experience on that side.
All right, here's Harden for 3. Good box out. Baez comes away with it. Sosa delivers. James Feldine coming up short. Just underway, second half. Nice play on the hop for Curry.
Great play in transition, and certainly the U.S. being up big at halftime, you still want to come out and play at that standard of excellence that Coach K wants and demands from his team. And certainly they're coming out here in the second half and doing just that.
Feldine's pass picked off by Harden. Fareed. Curry for 3.
You know, it's on the defensive end. I think first, Grant, it starts off. You still have to put pressure, and like you say, still have accountability on that end. On this end, I think the key is always sharing the basketball, moving the basketball, not for a good shot, but for a great shot for the United States.
Sosa bloops cross court. Baez hands it off. Feldine over Curry for 3. James Feldine, who played high school basketball at Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx from the Washington Heights section. And played his college at Quinnipiac University. Played professionally in Spain and Italy. Here is that shot by James Feldine.
You know, James has a knack to be able to score the basketball with some strength. He's kind of a combo guard. One of those players that just can create his own shot, and like I said earlier, he loves contact, and you can see, create space with contact to get his shot off.
Big fan favorite in Spain, where he averaged 16 a game. Sosa. Here comes Irving. He's played well. Kyrie all the way, and it's rejected. Recovered by Fareed, and he's able to score.
And one of those things we talked about in international play is the rules, Marvin Grant, and you can see Kyrie Irving is asking for a goaltend. There's no goaltend. You can knock it off the rim.
That was a clean block.
It was a clean block.
Yeah, Anthony Davis was unsure a couple of times the other night against, there's Davis with a block the other night against Brazil. Here's Irving with the lob, and Harden cashes in.
Once again, the USA, their formula, great defense, creates great offense. Davis with the block shot, and Kyrie Irving rewarding James Harden with the alley-oop throwdown.
Steve, getting back to what you said, you can touch the ball on and above the cylinder. And there's been talk that the NBA is interested in implementing that rule.
Marv, I wouldn't want to see that. There's so many unbelievable athletes in the NBA. I mean, you're talking about when we see the rules right there, but that one particular rule, I mean, you have guys that with that ability like an Anthony Davis, if he gets used to this type of style of play, it'll be hard to score with guys like Anthony Davis and that length, I think, ran athletically to be able to knock it off the rim, basically, and, you know, it'll be a legal play.
So you do not want to give any extra edge to the big guys. Coronado comes up short. 2-on-1, Harden with Irving. Irving, oh, what a move.
Mark, I mean, when you knock it off the rim, what is that? What stat is that? Is that a rebound or is that a block shot in international play?
That is an excellent question. I was going to guess and make something up, but I don't know. We'll have to get the stat people over to talk about that. This is Lees getting it down low. The rejection. Martinez was stopped. Beautiful play by Fareed, leading to the 24-second violation.
Great defense there. Fareed is on the court because of his hustle, because of his energy, but mostly because of his defense, and certainly showed why he's in the starting lineup here for Team USA.
Fareed had a terrific game against Brazil the other night. 11 points, 9 rebounds. Just under 5 left, third quarter. Kyrie Irving. So hits the 3, he has 9. This is Coronado. Lees. Running one-hander, rebounded by Irving.
It's a great luxury when your starting point guard, Derrick Rose, can't play. And you can fill him in with Kyrie Irving as he puts on a dribbling exhibition and knocks down the three-pointer. We talked earlier about the guard play and that being a strength of the U.S. And whether it's Steph Curry, Irving, we've got some pretty good players over there on that bench.
Somewhere LeBron is watching and saying, I like this. Kyrie is 5 for 5 from the field, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 3-pointers.
And as we go to break, you see James Harden pushing the basketball, giving up to Stephen Curry, and he is finishing. Usually it's a 3, but Stephen knocks down a layup, and James Harden climbing the ladder.
Back at Madison Square Garden in New York, United States has opened up a 69-34 lead. A look at the upcoming USA Basketball National Team schedule of events. Friday here at the Garden, U.S. versus Puerto Rico, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. And next Tuesday, United States takes on Slovenia at the Canary Islands. That'll be ESPN2, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. U.S. getting down court in a hurry. The bucket by Drummond. It's a 14-0 run here by the United States. Oh, rejected by Andre Drummond. 6'10", 270-pounder. Played a year at UConn. He grew up in the area, Mount Vernon, New York. Last season averaged 13 rebounds a game, second in the NBA behind DeAndre Jordan.
You know, Mark, 2 impressive plays, running the court, catching it, but then also on this end, being able to block the shot with his off-hand, his left hand. He's a tremendous talent. And you talked about it, being able to average 13 rebounds. That's impressive.
It's Coronado firing in a pack, and it's broken up. Gordon Hayward, who just checked in for the first time, got a hand on it. U.S. has outscored the Dominican Republic 18-3, 8 of 12 from 3, 6 assists, none for the Dominican Republic.
USA has come out here in the third quarter and just had a sense of urgency. Yesterday we talked with Coach K, and he talked about the playoffs are now for the USA basketball team, and certainly they've come out and done that here.
And once again, it's Drummond who's had a solid performance. Andre Drummond also blocked 2 shots a game. His field goal percentage was 62, primarily from close in. That was the second to DeAndre Jordan. That time Drummond could not get to it reaching, but Feldine got it over his outstretched hands.
James Feldine is getting a chance to show us, and there's Damian Lillard pulling up. James Feldine is a scorer. And I'm looking to see if he will take this shot as well, Marvin Grant, because he's starting to feel it.
Martinez looking for the cutting Garcia, but Hayward in front of him. Here's Lees, and he's fouled by Thompson. Victor Lees, who had a strong game against Kentucky Sunday, 5 for 11, 2 threes. High point man with 15. Lees has played professionally in Venezuela, and the Dominican actually came in late. It's only his second game due to visa issues. I would go into that in detail, but you don't want to hear it. I mentioned earlier these exhibition games will lead to the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup, which will be hosted by Spain starting August 30th. U.S. opens against Finland. The Dominican Republic will open up against the Ukraine. That's an offensive foul. The Ukraine, coached by the Czar, Mike Fratello, who says that he'll be watching our telecast not to scout the Dominican team, but wanted to check out if we all pronounce their names correctly. You know what he used to do? When he would do international games, he'd never mention a last name. It would be Jose. It would be Georgie. A very clever, he thought, tackle. Lees with a nice move.
You know, Marv, I am waiting. I'm holding on my phone because I know he's watching and listening. He'll be texting in a minute.
Yes, he will.
A little late from us. A 6-hour difference. Oh, the tip. And again, it's Drummond. That's his third field goal, 6 points. Lee's played by Thompson, Garcia, Coronado, watched by Lillard. Hayward gambled, went for the steal. There's Lee's inside. Thompson watching the trailer, Lee's. Thompson tried to get it back, and he is hit on the arm.
A nice young player for the Dominican Republic, Victor Lees, who's fearless as he may have walked, or it may have been a Euro step there to the basket, but he's a fearless young man and was the MVP in the Dominican League last year. And yesterday at practice, Coach Orlando Antigua had nothing but great things to say to us about Victor Lees, and he showed his fearlessness on that play right there.
Orlando Antigua is 41 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. One-time member of their national team, played 4 years at Pitt, played several years with the Harlem Globetrotters. He was known as Hurricane Antigua. Been an assistant at Pitt, then Memphis and Kentucky under John Calipari, an assistant, in fact, for the Wildcats the past 5 years. He is the new head coach starting this season at South Florida in Tampa.
And he was an assistant coach of John Calipari for the Dominican Republic team. And now he's the head coach, and like you say, getting a chance to now have his own program at South Florida. Tremendous young coach. And obviously with John Calipari, got a chance to taste a lot of winning over the last 4 or 5 years.
Final minute of this third quarter. United States in a blowout, 76-39. They have had two 14-0 runs to break things open. Garcia rubbing off the screen. Garcia, nice cross-court pass, and Feldin knocked it down for three. Nice move by Thompson. Thompson with the rebound, slapped away, and then it's put home by Drummond.
Drummond is an excellent rebounder, but he's also one of those players, Marvin Grant, the ball just finds him. I mean, he's a big body, it's great touch, soft hands, and a nice putback for Andre Drummond.
Wonder if Drummond, who had to be considered on the bubble, is kind of working himself back. Here's Drummond again.
Ooh, that's what you like to see. Your big man getting out, leading the break. And of course, as a guard, you have to reward him. I agree. I mean, Drummond's certainly coming out here and showing that he wants to be on this team. He belongs on the team. And Garcia.
Cisco Garcia knocks it down. Just did beat that third quarter buzzer. How about Drummond? 10 of the last 11 points for the United States. We head to the fourth here at the Garden. The United States with an 80-45 lead.
NBA TV's presentation of USA Basketball is presented by the Nike KD7 collection, available at Foot Locker, and in part by the Jeep Altitude Edition lineup, the official vehicles of
where the U.S. national team leads the Dominican Republic by 35. I'm here with the Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim. Saturday night, after taking a big lead against Brazil, you were actually outscored in the second and third quarters. How important was it to sort of step on the gas here tonight?
Well, it's good. You know, Brazil's really good. You know, that win was a heck of a win by 20. They're one of the better teams in the world. This is a good win this is a good game for us. We're getting an opportunity to look at some guys that we haven't had a chance to see much. You know, we're still looking and evaluating the last few positions for the team, but you know, the first 5 guys played well. I mean, Kyrie was really, really good tonight, but we're really good on the perimeter. Our perimeter guys are really good, and I think tonight our big guys got an opportunity, and that's something we have to keep working on. We got a long way to go before we get to the real games over in Spain. So this team is, even though they're a young team, they really work hard. They really play hard in practice and in the games, and that's a good thing.
Jim, thanks.
Thank you.
Now, the idea is when a coach continues talking, he realizes there won't be a follow-up second question. It's that Newhouse training at Syracuse, I think. Jim Boeheim, head coach for 38 years. Garcia not able to hit, winning the NCAA title back in 2003. That team, of course, led by Carmelo Anthony. Fourth quarter is underway as Hayward went on the pull-up through the foul. Substitutions for the Dominican Republic. Elise Baez checking back in with Victor Lees. Can watch NBA TV throughout the FIBA World Cup for live games and highlights covered tipping off Saturday, August 30th. France versus Brazil at noon Eastern time, only on NBA TV. Gordon Hayward able to knock it down. Yeah, he has really bulked up. He's listed at 220, 6'8", 220. Has a bit of a different look than a year ago.
Marv, he's more than 220 right now, and he's cut up and got a chance to sign a new contract. And that Utah team has some perimeter guys and some Dante Exum and Trey Burke. And now you have Gordon Hayward, Utah, trying to make somewhat of a comeback back into maybe getting a chance to sniff the playoffs. That Western Conference, though, is hard.
Good box out by Martinez for the putback. Bad pass. Here comes Lees. DeRozan back. Baez. Good hustle by the U.S. to get back. Sosa able to knock it down.
Nice three-pointer by Sosa, and we're so happy he's back playing. He struggled with some injuries the last 2 or 3 years, but he looks healthy, and getting a chance to play here in the Garden against the U.S. team is quite a thrill for him, considering the injuries that he's gone through.
Bucket by DeRozan, high off glass. Yes, Sosa 3 years ago actually suffered the same injury as Paul George and came back a year later. Of course, you guys can certainly relate to that, the fact that it's different for every player, but that's a good sign.
It's a great sign, and if you're an NBA fan and an Indiana Pacers fan, you're certainly encouraged when you see someone like Edgar Sosa back on the court playing, as you see here, making a nice three-point shot for the Dominican Republic. But the good thing for Paul George, and let's hope and pray that he can get back and be on the court. He is young. The surgery apparently went well, and he just has time now to heal and look at somebody like a Sosa who was able to return and get back and resume his career.
And you talk about injuries, Marv and Grant. Sorry, Marv. He also broke his foot against Team USA, I think a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So he's battled, and it's a testament to him to get his rehab going, and he's back out here playing again and looking well.
What I really enjoyed is Vargas has rejected. That'll count as a goaltend this time on on Drummond. Edgar Sosa said that as a kid, growing up, his favorite player was Francisco Garcia, which I know Francisco really appreciates.
You always got to look out for your vets, and certainly Sosa as a young man knows that. But
he's not much younger than Garcia.
And Marv, Grant Hill was my favorite player growing up too.
Actually, Steve Smith was one of my favorite players in all seriousness growing up, high school.
Oh, beautifully done, and Hayward had to adjust and just tapped it in. There was no stuff involved, but gets the bucket for a 92-54 lead.
Maybe it's because of that 20 pounds of extra muscle that he has on his frame. He just had to lay it in there.
Garcia played by DeRozan. There's Garcia able to elude Lillard, went to the left hand.
Nice move by Francisco Garcia. Showed the shot, drove, challenged Andre Drummond, used his body, and a nice layup to the left.
14 points for Francisco Garcia. And Rudy Gay able to hit with a driving hook.
Rudy Gay is another player who has added some muscle to his frame, and certainly his addition, his versatility, ability to score the ball a number of ways is going to be huge for the U.S. team.
11 points for Gay, 8th original pick by Houston, traded to Memphis, spent 6.5 years with the Grizzlies, then on to Toronto and Sacramento. Drummond on that foul, his third. Just 5 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Sosa getting the screen from Vargas. Sosa, tip missed. Last touch by the United States. So we'll take a break. United States with a 94-56 lead.
Back in New York City, the U.S. is up big. I'm Matt Weiner here with the managing director of USA Basketball, Jerry Colangelo, who in partnership with Mike Krzyzewski has really made this a continuous program going back to 2005. So much discussion about who is not on this team over the last couple of weeks, but you've been able to show off your depth here a little bit. You were just saying off camera, you see guys who are competing for a job here. How tough are these cuts going to be?
It's going to be very difficult. That's why when we're asked the question, when are you going to make cuts, we've been trying to put that off as much as we could to give everyone a fair shot. And they've all lived up to their billings. They really have. They're a great bunch of guys. They've worked really hard. They deserve credit.
So when are you going to make cuts?
Maybe a little bit tonight, maybe sometime after Friday night.
The Derrick Rose situation obviously causes concern because of his knee history over the last couple of seasons. What is your level of confidence as we stand here today that he'll be on the roster for the World Cup in Spain when you land over there?
Well, it's an opinion. I would say cautiously optimistic. I think for him being down as long as he was, for him to come back and be where he is good. It's still early to really know. He needs the rest more than anything, and I think he's going to be all right.
You've got decisions to make on bigs as well.
Right.
Conventional wisdom is that they can't all stay on this roster. What are you looking for out of your big guys?
Well, depth, insurance, and it would be nice for a coach to be able to look down and see a couple, 2 or 3 bigs sitting there just in case.
Always a good thing. Jerry, we appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, Matt. And Mike Krzyzewski going with a different look up front, has the 2 big guys, Cousins and Drummond, on the floor together for the first time, along with Hayward. Oh, a nice move by DeRozan on the spin. The United States shooting at 62% from the field, and they've hit 9 of 19 from downtown.
You know, Marv, they've got a lot of fast break points, but like you said, that's 62%. There's been a lot of nice jump shots made. The three-point shot has been there. Defensively, it's just been an all-around nice showing for USA.
Off the steal, DeRozan puts it down.
Well, you're going to shoot 60% when you get out in transition and dunk like DeRozan did there. And what I'm encouraged, though, the assist and, of course, the three-point shooting. That was a little bit of a concern after the Brazil game this past week. But with the shooters they have and the unselfishness, they're going to eventually hit those shots.
Sosa on a runner. U.S. with 22 assists on the 40 field goals. As we mentioned earlier, this also a Dominican Republic team playing without Al Horford of the Atlanta Hawks. With another high percentage shot by Andre Drummond. Drummond has been outstanding. 6 for 7, 12 points.
Stan Van Gundy is somewhere right now licking his chops, seeing the play and the athleticism from Andre Drummond.
Getting back to Al Horford, he's recovering as Sosa is off this time from that torn pectoral. It's expected he'll be ready for training camp with Atlanta, but was not clear to play for this tournament. Lillard hits the three.
Damian Lillard's shot is, all you young guys out here, he gets his elbow in an L position, elbow over eye when he shoots it, nice rotation, and also his balance when he shoots the basketball. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Talking about this earlier, United States shorthanded in the big man department with the injury to George and the withdrawals by Durant, Love, and Griffin with the back problem. So a look at those on hand. Cousins, with Davis and Drummond. Fareed is in the pack. Fareed has been in the starting lineup, in fact. Here's Lillard again for three. We're down to 2 minutes to play in the fourth. Coronado. Fortuna for three. Dominican Republic 5 for 25 from downtown. Gay changed his mind and to the rim. Oh, the explosion by Rudy Gay. Timeout called. It's a 105-60 lead. Andre Drummond with a terrific second half. Welcome back to the Garden. USA Basketball being presented by Nike. A 105-60 thumping by the United States over the Dominican Republic. Time for tonight's game track brought to you by Jeep. Look at the scoring, balanced scoring. In fact, the minutes have been balanced, 13 apiece for DeRozan and Gay, 12 for Drummond. Harden got off to that fast start to set the pace. And Irving has been outstanding. 16 minutes, hit all 5 of his shots. 5 assists, no turnovers. In the starting lineup with Derrick Rose out. Missed the last 2 days of practice. Suffering soreness in both knees. Nice give and go. This time Drummond not able to convert. Kept alive by the United States. Here's Hayward. And the ball back to the Dominican Republic. Down to a minute, 15 remaining. United States taking on Puerto Rico here Friday night at the Garden. A game that will be seen on ESPN2. Nice lead pass. Coronado not able to handle.
What's encouraging here, Steve, is USA is up by 45 points, and they're still pressuring the wings, denying the ball, forcing a turnover. Coach K has to be happy with the effort from all these players here this evening.
You're totally right. United States looking at big picture. Still have another game here Friday against Puerto Rico, but guys, like you say, in a sense, playing the passing lane, still actively defensively, and trying to finish this game on a positive.
Crowd of 16,000 on hand. They did sell out at the United Center on Saturday night. Nice move. Ronald Ramon got the step. And a large contingent of Dominican Republic rooters. And we heard them early when things were a bit closer. Now we're hearing the chant of USA, which has popped up from time to time. Shot clock at 5. Lillard from way downtown, rebounded by Drummond off a triple team. Just 1 second remaining. So the United States, that would not have counted, the United States with a 105-62 victory. They end up shooting 59%, 24 assists on the 44 field goals. They out-rebounded the Dominican Republic 44-25. Fast break points 31-4. It was a drubbing, and you can tell just looking at the face of Mike Krzyzewski, he was pleased. I don't know if he would say so. He's going to find something, Grant, as you know, as all coaches do.
As all great coaches do. You want to keep your team motivated, keep them hungry. Obviously, you don't want to get complacent. What they did tonight was what they were supposed to do. Come out, take care of business, put this team away early. The USA has to feel good. I know Coach K is going to smile tonight. He has to be happy.
Steve, is there any way that you can make decisions on cuts here tonight, or you look for the United States to wait another day?
You know, Marv, they have to, but it's going to be so tough. I mean, when you start to look at their guard position without Derrick Rose and the uncertainty and the concerns about his injuries, you don't know. And so I know that's got to be a concern for them. And then the bigs, you want to have bigs, like they said, Jerry Colangelo to look down there. But Mike Krzyzewski and his team plays better small ball. So it's going to be interesting when you look at the way Drummond came out and put on a display. He has a nod, I think, before Chicago. He's one of those players that you thought might not make it. But after today, he has to be in highly consideration.
Do you guys see the United States taking a chance? We don't know all the medical ramifications, but do they stay with Derrick Rose?
Well, that's the big question, and I think certainly they're going to continue to communicate with Derrick, talk with his doctors, the trainers, and try to make the right decision. Obviously, the team needs to know they can rely on Derrick Rose. And at this point in time, we're not sure if they can. And so tonight, the last few days, not practicing, not playing tonight, there's a strong chance that Derrick Rose either may be cut or may volunteer to move on because of the sort of the uncertainty.
I think Marvin Grant, we all know he's had a fabulous training camp. You know, as far as physically he's back, but obviously it's the soreness after he gets a chance to play. I think after Friday, you have to make a decision. You don't want this lingering on, being able to whether he's going to play or not in Spain or not before they get a chance to start competition. I think they should make a decision. Also, Derrick Rose and his team make a decision whether he's going or not.
And I would think that Tom Thibodeau will have his voice heard in that decision. You can see Tom and Jerry Colangelo yesterday at practice huddling up on several occasions. And we had the feeling that was what the topic of conversation was. Well, with Derrick Rose out of the lineup, an outstanding game for Kyrie Irving, and he's alongside Matt Weiner. Matt.
That's right, Mark. Kyrie Irving got the start tonight, got a lot started for his teammates as well. 5 assists to go with 12 points on a perfect shooting night. As a team, what were your priorities when the night began?
Just wanted to come out here and compete, especially for the fans watching. We're going to come out here, play against a good Dominican Republic team, and get the win. We wanted to set a standard for ourselves for going forward when we go over to compete in Spain.
Once you knew you had the start, what were you hoping to accomplish here?
I mean, honestly, it didn't matter if I started or not. The most important thing was just coming out here and competing for my teammates and, doing whatever possible to get this win.
There's been so much discussion about who's not on this roster right now over the last few weeks. What has been the attitude, the approach to all this young talent fighting for jobs, trying to make this team?
I mean, we all want to represent our country. It'll be a great opportunity, a great deal for all of us, but obviously everybody can't make it. But, I mean, that's just part of the game. It's not that they're not talented enough. It's just that, we just need pieces that Mr. Colangelo and Coach Krzyzewski feel like they can go over and compete in Spain and know, we're all competing, but at the end of the day, we're all fighting for each other.
Congratulations. Good luck Friday and on to Spain.
Thanks, Kev.
Kyrie Irving, the pride of West Orange, New Jersey, putting on a show here at the Garden tonight. Thanks to producer Anthony Holman, director Mike Roy, Marv Albert, Grant Hill, Steve Smith, Matt Wider saying so long from Madison Square Garden in New York. Thanks for watching. Now we send it to our Atlanta studios, Vince and Dennis.